All right,
Okay.
Carl, I think we should just go right into it. I mean, where are we right now? Where are the Jets at this point in the season?
Okay. It's been a roller coaster ride. The
Yeah.
beginning, we didn't expect much, right? We said 5.5. That's what Vegas was saying. That was the,
We
then
took
it
the
was like,
over.
okay,
We were right
yeah,
about that.
right. And it was about a young team, and we were going to have meaningful games. That was the term that was being volleyed around, right? It was
Yeah.
like meaningful games in December. Well, here we are. And guess what? Jets are on a 4-game losing streak. However, they're playing meaningful games in
They're
December.
still
Okay.
playing meaningful games.
Meaningful games. And the most meaningful game with 2 to go is this Sunday, right?
Yeah.
6 days from now, at Seattle, who's also playing meaningful games,
Also,
trying to
must
just
win.
squeak
Everyone
by
is
Washington.
must win their last two in this
Must win.
situation.
Must win. And this week will tell a lot. This week's going to answer some questions. But the
Yeah.
Jets, obviously, everyone thought the games didn't matter. Then we get another Christmas gift. Not only does Miami lose, New England loses, Raiders lose. The Jets, Mike White gets clearance from the team doctor
Yeah.
and is named the starter for this Sunday. Our last gasp effort.
What a blast.
Keenan Williams is back. Remember that. Our best, our Pro Bowler, one of the top 3 defensive tackles in the
Huge.
game. The
Hugest
only
presence
guy
on the defense.
I can't tell you off the top of my head because Mike White's only played 3 games. But in those 3 games, I highly doubt that Mike White has had Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, and Corey Davis all together because
All
I
on the
think
same
Coleman
field.
is out. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see him with his full array of receivers.
I don't know if it was last week or if it was against Detroit, but Michael Carter came up with some big plays in one of those games.
Michael Carter last
As a
week,
receiver kind of running back.
5 catches. Yeah, yeah, as a receiver,
I
right?
think he's a very good in that role as a receiving running back. And he should continue with Bam Knight doing the pounding.
But now with that said, let's be honest, right? I mean, the last 2 games have been atrocious for the Jets' entire run game, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it's just
true.
been atrocious. Zonovan has had some good runs actually, except they were called back by penalty. You know,
Let's go over Seattle.
yeah.
How familiar are you with Seattle? Are they still a vaunted defense? Um, I mean, I know that they have a great coach and they had great draft picks, but and they still had that cornerback, their first pick, right? Was a cornerback. How does he
Tariq
turn out?
Woolen. Tariq Woolen. I'm gonna pull up the defensive team stats because it's a great question, right? What are we really up against here?
Yeah.
So if you look at yards per game, right? The best is the Niners. The third best is the Jets. Okay, Eagles are second best. Those give up the
Really?
fewest yards. Okay,
Fewest yards per
Seattle
game.
is one of the worst. They've given up 373 yards a game. That's
Huh.
compared to the Jets 309. Okay, there are only 3 teams worse than them, and oddly enough, 2 of them we've played: the Vikings and the Lions.
Yeah.
So we kind of took advantage of the Vikings in the air, but we ended up with all these field goals. With the Lions, we didn't really take advantage of it. So we've got to take advantage of the fact that their defense gives up a lot of yards. Oh wow, they're the second worst team in the league against the run. Only the Texans, 168 yards, have given up more yards than the Seattle Seahawks, who've given up 155 yards a game. So, what does this speaketh of? Not just Mike White. This story is not just Mike White. This story is also about reestablishing our run game.
Hmm.
Zonovan Knight and a way overdue Michael Carter. Just bam, bam. Like you said, Michael Carter can catch the screens. Bam
Yeah.
Knight can run up get through the gaps. Let's run this ball 30 times. Let's get 180 yards rushing. Let's score 2 rushing TDs, and then Mike White can take care of the rest. And let's just go out. They're a good team, man, no doubt about it. Rashad Penny's out for the year, so they don't have a good back. They don't have an established backup running back. Okay, and if
Okay.
Tyler Lockett is out, what have you done? You've taken away your second best receiver.
Why is he probable or
He's the one with the broken
possible?
wrist that I just told you about, who had surgery.
Lockett's out? Okay.
Lockett was out last week. Right
Okay.
now, they have not said if he's in or out, but he just had
So
surgery. Imagine having surgery 2 weeks ago on your hand and then playing. The
we
doctors say
need
it's possible. Thank you, Russell Wilson. That's part of the Russell Wilson deal. They got a
really.
first round pick, a first round tight end. Nobody's talking about this. He's only 25. He was picked in the first round by Denver. They got him in the Russell Wilson deal. That's pretty damn good to get a starting tight end with a first round. And look, he's got 4 touchdowns, 44 guys. This is just as good, if not better, than Tyler Conklin. I mean, let's face it, Dan, we're going to have to play an inspired game, a clean game, an inspired game and a clean game, inspired and clean. Mike White will be clean and he will inspire the team.
He
And
does play a clean game.
I think Michael Carter, I agree with you. That is a weapon that we have not unleashed in a long time. And how come this says 2021 instead of 2022?
Does
The
it?
preview.
That's no good. And I called it 2021 preview. So
Right.
that does need to be changed. I'm gonna change that right now while we're here. I mean, do
Yeah.
you see what I'm doing? Are you on my
Yeah, this is real, you know, we're making
really,
rookie mistakes here. We're making really
this is
bad mistakes. This
in-depth
affects
podcasting.
our credibility, Dan. This
Yeah, hold on a second.
right,
Well,
know.
listen, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. This
Yeah.
podcast. It's a pretty epic podcast. I mean, it's a pregame, but we know where we're going. We know the direction we want to go. We have most of our guys. We have Mike White. I mean, we have every reason to be relaxed.
Yeah,
Are you feeling
absolutely.
more or less relaxed? I think.
I think if I'm Mike LaFleur and the Jets, I am getting past that first down, get 2nd and 1, pass it on 2nd and 1. Then you got them guessing. Now you got a first down, run the ball. Next first down, pass the ball. Then you get,
Keep it
the
shifted up.
2nd and inches, pass the ball. Do the opposite. Get them guessing. Get them on their back foot. Just
The problem last week is that Zach kept giving up 8 yards on the first play. So they kept being 2nd and 18 over and over. These two drives in a row. At that point, the fans are really losing their minds.
Yeah, they were booing.
And then Jacksonville at one point scored, and the guy was running by the stands, so showboating. And then I saw the fans, and they were like, "Fuck you, fuck you," and they were really pissed off. It was not cool.
That's what I mean. It's toxic. It can get toxic, but
I think it's a toxic atmosphere at the stadium. And you're kind of conceding my point about the Jets have no luck there.
Well, I just think it's also an awful environment. They're not generating like the Vikings, the Seattle Seahawks. They get every essence the fans seeps through. They'll even get warned by the referees that they're going to have a 15-yard delay of game penalty called against the crowd if they don't shut up. You know what I mean? It's like that.
That's true. Seattle's great for that. That's the 12th man in Seattle. But the Jets don't have so much that they have a passionate fan base, and it gets loud and psyched when they win. So they're there for him. But they also boo Zach. They boo the shit out of Zach.
They do boo the shit out of Zach, but they're going to have to put pressure on, and they have not been doing that consistently the last couple of weeks either. And Carl Lawson's got to have a game, man. If not, get Bryce Huff in there more. You can never have him in enough, And Keenan Williams going to have to continue to be a game wrecker. And Quincy Williams. And our defense just has to hold that Seattle team to like 13 points, because I think Mike White can get more than 13 points. We don't always need to be digging for 2 yards and then digging for another 2 yards, and now it's 3rd and 6. You know what I mean? And then you got Zach running around there hopelessly, and you're like, oh no, just run the ball, man. There's 30 yards ahead of you. Just look, So
yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me just show you one more thing that's great, because and you mentioned Carl Lawson, and I can tell that you've really given up on him, completely.
No, I haven't given up on him, but I'm disappointed.
Okay. I mean, fair. I mean, it sounds very hard to distinguish between those two things. But
Yeah, we need that. Yeah. There's
Oh,
Keenan. Yeah.
if only Keenan broke to the right, he could have gone all
That
the way.
that that was probably the high point of the season so far. Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, great moment. Obviously, it was a highlight in our season. But there's
Yeah.
if we are going to make the playoffs, we're going to need games like that the next 2 weeks. So we have to shake off the last four losses, shake it off, and just go in fresh. Nothing to lose anymore. We've just as good a chance as everybody else in this division for the 7th spot.
Exactly.
And then we'll face Buffalo or KC. We'll be probably destroyed.
I would just really like them, even if they don't make the playoffs.
In the playoffs. You want them in those.
I want them to get to Miami.
You want this win because then you can. Right. You want that. You want that second game that still matters. That means every game matters.
I might be working. Exactly. And I might be working on the Miami game. I'm not. Yeah.
For what?
Do you think the Jets can win the last 2 games of the year?
No.
George, you don't really know. You didn't think about that.
I really did. I put a lot of thought into it. Not Dad.
George, don't be a Patriots fan. At least be a Jets fan for me.
No, I'm a Patriots fan.
Okay, I think we're going to cut there.
You are gonna cut.
How many subscribers do we have?
4.
4 subscribers.
Hey.
He's going to get a lot of people involved. He's going to distribute the ball. I could see Michael Carter making 3-4 catches and maybe one big breakout play by a guy like Michael Carter. I still think
They need to play loose like George. They need to play loose like George. That's what the Jets need. We got to establish the run. If we do that, oh my God, that's going to open up so much to Mike White.
We have
Can you
Zonovan
imagine?
Knight.
Zonovan, Michael Carter, and Ty Johnson. I'm sorry, James Robinson.
And all 3 receivers. Everybody's in both tight ends and
both tight ends.
And Mike White. This is the starting line. This is our starting offense.
This is our starting.
Praise God. Praise Jah. Wow.
Now, here's the thing.
Tariq
Woolen, their cornerback, if they have him on Garrett Wilson, then I have a feeling he might play Corey Davis. So it'll be interesting how they defend Mr. Garrett Wilson.
They should put him on Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's the most dangerous receiver.
Yeah, but he's a tall cornerback like Sauce. He's not one of these,
quick
guys like Garrett Wilson.
Garrett needs like double, triple coverage.
Yeah.
He needs somebody watching him very carefully, like the free safety's on him.
Yeah.
To prevent what happened to us against Detroit with that little flip pass to the tight end.
Yeah, the Jets need loose rhythm. The last time I saw it was with Mike White. Even in the Buffalo game, they lost. So you know what I mean? It's like we need
White.
Some play now.
To start with Mike White, putting some points on the board. Then we can go from there. I think the defense has been playing tough all year for the most part. I mean, look, 3rd against the rush. That's how good they are. Let's stuff them. Let's stuff them.
You watch. It's gonna be an energetic, just coming together.
This is gonna be a great game.
We're gonna have a shot. We have a shot.
It's gonna, they're going to play incredibly well. Something's gonna take over and lift them. Something's lifting this whole thing. It's generating so much. We did our podcast. For the Jets. That was our part. And we'd been letting them down the last few weeks. So we finally did our part.
We're part of it. We're
part of that meltdown. We're part
of the meltdown.
We're part of the meltdown and we're owning that. We're all owning what our part. Now we're turning it around. So we're turning it around right here.
Incredibly difficult.